How do you respond to an email like that? I canceled plans that night. I had an emergency. I've never been so caught between a rock and a hard place. I can't do what he's asking me to do. It's not possible. I can't quit because, either way, I'm just concerned about my reputation. People asked me when they heard that I had done this. I said, my God, aren't you concerned about your reputation? And about, the money you're out? And I said, even if it ends up being said about me that I just walked out on a show and there's no explanation for that, and even if I'm out $500 in this economy, that's preferable to having anything to do with what's going on here, as far as my reputation goes, and then including the $500 on top of that. People would say, how bad could it be? Really? Come on. So I would tell them. Well, nobody's disagreed. They say, okay, yeah, you totally stuck. What do? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. What are you going to do? You cannot reason with this person. It's impossible. There's no way to talk sense to him. And it's been bugging me ever since because I never figured out a way to respond to it. I would start to respond, and 80 pages later. So finally getting this out of the way. Feels good. Finally got that all. Nobody will probably ever hear it, but it's there. The day after I received this horrendously stupid and spectacularly offensive email, I showed up to rehearsal. I didn't say anything about the email. How does one respond to something so ridiculous? We ran the show, as always, of course. And this time when we were done running the show, we had 45 minutes left. Now, so far, I'd been told that the reason that we weren't rehearsing the music is because we didn't have time. Of course, you've got limited time with me. You should be making sure that not a minute is getting wasted. 35 hours to learn the music and for me to accompany them during the dance rehearsals. This time, Larry said, well, we have 45 minutes left, so I guess let's just run it again. For the first time ever, I said something. I spoke up. I asked if we could fix some things. Some of these train wrecks, left and right, very easily fixed. Lots of them. Some of them take seconds. You just need to make a decision. Again, I'll give you some examples. His response was, no, Evan, we don't have time. If Larry was a terrible director, I'm not even supposed to know about it. I'm not even supposed to be at his rehearsals. I think I already said that, but I have to just, emphasize, really. Now he had just said we have 45 minutes left, so I guess. So, I pushed a little. I said, am I being high maintenance? Larry replied, they'll remember what mistakes they made last time, and they won't make them again this time around. Okay. So at this point, I would like to see Larry's musical credentials. Every musician knows that never happens. As I mentioned earlier, that the body does what it is in the habit of doing, that you must go over it slowly, in chunks, over and over from the start of rehearsals, or they'll never get it right. Kids didn't even know what mistakes to fix. They had never learned it correctly in the first place. And then he says, especially since you have to leave early in a half hour, we don't have time. Actually, that's all the more reason why we don't have time to run the whole act and have me leave right in mid-song, which he had me do twice. As far as he's concerned, it's just a play. I'm running a play. You just show up to the play and make the music happen while I'm running the play. Actually, it basically says that on your website, that you have professional musicians, really. I don't think any professional is going to put up with this crap. And it says you have professional musicians show up to the shows to enhance the show. It's like saying the orchestra showed up to the orchestra concert to enhance the orchestra concert. It is ridiculous. You cannot do a musical show without the musicians. And they need to be rehearsed. Oh, man. So, he actually says, I'm running the play. I understand you need to leave early. Whenever you need to leave, you leave. I've got a play to run. We're not going to fix anything. We're just going to run it over and over again. I got to leave. Why not work on the songs that need work? Not keep going through the things that don't need work. I shouldn't even have to watch a monologue until just before dress rehearsals. We do not all need to be sitting there. This is just a lot of this is about organization and respect for people's time. We do not all need to sit there and watch these monologues every rehearsal when we have work to do. And when will we have time? At my first rehearsal, weeks into rehearsals, after getting no response to my suggestion that we do it right and have them learn the music first so they do it right, Larry greeted me by saying, "We're glad to have you join the production. And where we are in the production right now is blocking." Again, you have limited time with me and 2+ hours of music for your students and me to learn. Why in the world would any director have his accompanist at his blocking rehearsal? It makes no sense. In this case, we know why. Larry doesn't get it. Period. Doesn't understand. Most people know this. It doesn't matter if you've done any music. You go to school and there you have friends who are in the choir. Or even if you don't, you know that these things exist. Orchestras, bands. These people show up to the first day of class, they're not told, okay, we're running the show. What show? We have no idea. And then over and over again, nothing but. Okay, everybody, turn to page such and such, measure such and such. Here are your parts, go real slow. That's how the first musical rehearsal of anything always goes. And gradually, you put it together. So you take each little section of the song that you've gotten right, now you have a whole song. By the end of the semester, or the end of 2 months of rehearsals, you have a bunch of songs, and then you have a show. So, Larry, though, glad to have you join the production, and where we are is blocking. Your director, with limited time, 35 hours of rehearsals with me, has me at his blocking rehearsal. Before my second rehearsal, on October 10th, Larry writes, "Evan, today we're meeting in the music room because the community hall is being used by a different group. We'll run through them and notice where we need work, but we won't be able to rework them today." Rework, we haven't started the work. When will we? What is the purpose of this rehearsal? Every rehearsal should have some sort of goal that we should be accomplishing at every minute. My first rehearsal was blocking, which is ridiculous. Now we're in a different room, so we can't keep blocking, so why aren't we working on getting the music right? What is the goal? What are we aiming to accomplish? Again, every rehearsal, every minute, it's supposed to be having a specific goal, and every minute is supposed to be working towards accomplishing that goal. Again, if you don't believe me, it's the common sense, plus it's also right here in this book. This is not a rehearsal. It is a complete waste of everybody's time, just like all the rest were. I actually had to look at Larry once to make sure he was awake, because one of your students' phones rang 6 times before I asked him to turn it off. The man can't even babysit.